don't you just kind of feel it? It just feels destiny that they've got to fight at this point.
Absolutely. It's like, I feel like it's a win-win for the UFC to make the Paddy v Ilia fight right now, because these are both commodities. If Ilia loses and Paddy's the champion, great. He's a massive star already, and a lot of people are doubting him. Perfect situation is to put Arman against him. If Ilia beats him, as most people would predict he will, that's a massive star moment for Ilia again, because of Paddy's star power, again leading to Arman. It's exactly what you're saying, Ariel, to make the biggest splash. And we know that's what they want to do. They want to come out swinging in this new TV deal. Best way to do it is Paddy v Ilia.
So here's the one thing, PT. Let me ask you this. I was not expecting Arman to say, put me on that January card. and it is very soon, but it is far enough to where like a 2-month turnaround isn't crazy, especially when you didn't seem to get beat up all that bad in this fight. Do you think there is a chance the UFC will reconsider, or do you think they should do it as we're doing it, continue with the Paddy thing, do that plan, have Arman wait? They were mad at him. Hopefully now, he's back in their good graces. He was a great ambassador. Their first show in Qatar, a big deal for them. Or what do you think? Because I have to say, that was interesting. He threw the curveball. He seemed to know something there by specifically mentioning that date. So what do you think?
I had the feeling, and the same as Paddy did, like in the lead up to this fight, is like, why isn't this announced yet? I know a lot of people disagree with the fact that Paddy Pimblett is in this spot or is even in this conversation, but he absolutely is. And we know in this day and age, excuse me, the UFC, the currency is spectacle, the currency is stardom, and he has all of that. So for me, for Arman to come in now in January, just him saying January would say to me that the plan is already there with Paddy. It's already been there. Did they not announce it before this to allow this to have more stakes coming into Doha? Perhaps. I don't think he's getting in Paddy's way of this. I think the same as him. Why hasn't this been announced yet? It seems like the natural fight to make. Well, no, maybe not the natural fight to make, but the obvious fight to make if you're the UFC.
What do you think about this? Because you saw this, Chuck. He was talking to Hunter Campbell there afterwards. Great moment with Arman and his dad, and they mentioned first time since 2019 he's in attendance and he came to the cage. But Arman was very clearly speaking to Hunter Campbell in the front row, cage side. So what do you think? You think they changed their mind?
I don't think they'll change their mind, but I do believe that he's probably like he's objecting, right? Like he's saying, like, "Hey, look, you see what I did? You want?" Because the thing he pointed out in that post fight interview was like, if you want the toughest fight, I'm the toughest fight, and I think that is his best argument. There's going to be a segment of the population, especially within the diehard sect, that's going to echo that, right? That like this is the guy that should be facing him, and it's not wrong if he ends up getting that fight. I would be perfectly happy with that. I just think that given the circumstances, they won't. And I agree with what PC was saying. I agree with what you're inferring here is that it's probably already maybe not an indelible ink in the minds like of what's happening in the UFC, but I think that's the fight. They want to do the Pimblett fight, and it makes complete sense.
I guess that means Justin Gaethje's on the verge of retirement, huh?
Who is talking about Justin Gaethje in this
no,
spot? Like no one is answering this
Justin
question
Gaethje
other
only.
than Justin Gaethje with a like, well, maybe he has a chance. Like he feels way further away from a title shot than even Kamaru Usman, who most people are poo-pooing as well, right? Like
because Kamaru Usman's at least a former champion, right? Like he at least has that. Gaethje has none of that.
Yeah. He's not in the conversation. Let's be honest, he isn't.
By the way, Arman Tsarukyan had not fought in 2025. Like I said, his last fight was in April of 2024. However, it is worth noting, and they flashed this up on the screen, since 2019, tied for second most wins at 155 pounds, Islam 11, and Arman and Charles, who he beat at UFC 300 with 10 wins, 5-fight winning streak. And you would have to assume if he was fighting a little bit more since last April, he could have added a few to that. Of course, he was supposed to fight for the belt, and I wish we would have seen that fight. Now it feels like we're a little far away from that because Islam has moved up. But to me, that is such a fascinating fight, him versus Ilia. Worth noting, this is from Aaron Bronstetter, a great factoid from him. He just tweeted, if Ilia is matched up against Arman before next October, so October of 2026, I believe it would be the first undisputed title fight in the men's divisions between two fighters in their 20s since Holloway Ortega in December 2018. Now, I haven't verified this, but Aaron's pretty good with the factoids. That's pretty crazy. That would be 8 years, essentially, since two guys in their 20s are fighting for a an
What does that tell
undisputed
us?
UFC title.
30s is the peak. 30s is where you want to be.
I don't know. What does it tell us? What does it
Right.
tell us?
I mean, you're
week
telling me
after
this is an
talk-
interesting factoid. Why is it interesting?
One
I
week
don't know.
after
I
Shevchenko
think
37 wins. 1 week later, he's like,
I think it says a lot about how good these two guys are. I think it says a lot about the UFC giving title shots to some of the older guys, and it takes a long time to get to the top and to earn and warrant those titles. And I just think it's an interesting factoid. You fucking
let him have his
asshole.
moment, will you? Pizzy, for God's sake.
He was saying, and
This
I was
isn't
like,
the crack, man. You can't just interrupt the man.
It's a pretty good factoid. I don't know.
It's a good one.
This is great.
It's
wow,
interesting.
what? The first time since 2018?
Who has a better chance of beating Ilia Topuria? Arman or Paddy?
Arman.
Yeah.
The smile on Chuck's face when I said that.
There's a little bit of me I'm intrigued, I don't count Paddy out of it,
No.
No, neither do I. He's constantly like overcoming doubters. Like years and years ago, the conversation about Paddy Pimblett was, yeah, okay, like people like him, but he's never going to get to the UFC. He got injured like after he lost the Cage Warriors title, and people were like, I don't even think he'll be the Cage Warriors champion again. So it's like, it's always been doubt. He's got to the UFC now. He's not only in the UFC, he's on the verge of fighting for a title. So he's constantly overcoming the odds, and he's a brilliant submission artist. Like, he is a very unorthodox guy. I think Ilia is really, really good on the ground. I think he'll be a heavy favorite, and rightfully so, but you definitely cannot rule the dude out.
By the way, shout out. Just want to say shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Thumbs up to the chat. I put up a poll right now, guys. Doing it all over here. Okay,
Wow.
I'm dealing with PT's nonsense. I'm
how it's
hosting
done,
this
PT.
damn thing, moderating, and putting up polls.
It's incredible.
New York Rick, Ant, wherever you may be, thanks for the help. The question was, who should fight Ilia next? Okay, and as of right now, almost a little over 600 votes. Arman 74%,
Wow.
Paddy 23%, Gaethje 4%. Now, this might be a little, recency bias,
Right.
but it's clear that
It
the
is.
people so far want Arman, and I presume he's going to run away with this one. Chuck, what did you want to say there?
I don't remember, but I would say that I will say that if you look at it, so you're asking about Paddy, I think that it's easier to be like in a hype. If you're trying to hype the fight up, it would be easier for people to be like, oh, that's a cakewalk for Tsarukyan, right? Like, this should be easy. I mean, but if you look at Tsarukyan, is what I'm trying to say. If you look at Tsarukyan, you're going to have a little bit more of a balanced perception of like, okay, this guy presents doubt to the situation, right? We just saw him do this to a guy who's very tough. I think that's all it is. It's like there's a time when you want to see the best fight the best. I just think that we're just playing with such new players and all of this, that why not do the thing that would draw the most eyes? You know what I mean? It's a different kind of scenario.
I do want to say this, though, because I'm seeing some people saying, like, I can't believe we are saying Paddy deserves it more than Arman.
That's not what I
Paddy
said.
does not deserve it more than Arman. And if you're asking me right now, there's an open slot, who would I want to see more? It is Arman versus Ilia, and Arman deserves it because of the winning streak, because of everything that's happened, and the time and the wins and everything that he's done over the last 6 or so years.